Apparently, people have been posting my new video. If you guys haven't seen the video, you can check it out here. It's PvP rewards are impossible to get in Dragonflight Season 2. Here's why this is a problem. So basically, in this video, all I do is I just talk about how everything is really deflated right now. Like, it's really deflated. If you're queuing during the day, like you're fighting rank 1 players at 2K, 2100, basically. You know what I mean? You're fighting like multi rank 1 players on their ults and stuff like that. If you're just like an average player, you basically can't get any of the rewards right now because things are so deflated. And I think that's a problem. I think it's better when like you can actually push the rewards and it's reasonable. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm down to look at some of the replies. So be a little reaction, Andy. Should we look at Reddit first or the WoW forums first? What do you guys think? We'll start with the spicy one. We'll go with Reddit first. Venruki's take on PvP rating now and Blizzard's way of controlling it. Okay. I'll just come in and say it. I'm bad at PvP. I got to 1800 with Shuffle in Season 1 in the first 3-ish weeks, and it was fun. This season, I'm 1600, and I keep queuing into multi-glads at 1600. I know I'm bad, and I can improve. I do try learning, but it's not fun playing against people that should have 800 more rating. It feels miserable when everything I try to do gets punished so hard by people that are much more experienced. So now I'll probably just quit Shuffle, making it much more frustrating for the remaining players. It's true. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. I feel like there's no safe space, and I know this sounds like really like you guys would be like, oh, Venruki's like he just wants like, you know, free rewards for everybody. He's become a real softie. No, that's not it, you guys. Like I like to use the example of I play Overwatch. Like I play with my wife. We play Overwatch together, and we play at like silver. I'm gold. She's silver. We play together. It's fun. You know, the people we're playing against are our skill level. It would not be fun if every single game we're just fighting like grandmasters smurfing. Like that would be awful. It would completely kill the fun of the game. And that's kind of what happens in WoW right now. I feel like this is like the sentiment that I'm trying right here. Because I spend all day interacting with people in my stream, right? I literally spend 8 hours talking to the community, different skill levels, and this is the sentiment. Even on myself on ults and stuff like that. My evoker, my preservation evoker, ladies and gentlemen, last season I got 2,700 in 1 day, which maybe that's crazy. Maybe I wasn't good enough for it or whatever. But now I literally can't get past 1,700. I'm 1,700 in every game. I just went 2 and 4. I went 3 and 3. I went 2 and 4. Like, it's crazy. At 1,700, I'm not the best preservation evoker, but 1,700, like, this actually becomes a point where you simply can't improve because the skill difference is so significant. There's nothing to learn when you get smoked by someone who has 800 to 1,000 plus rating above you. For example, I know Choose is kind of a meme and not taken seriously, but queuing to Peekaboo at 1,600 rating when he's a tournament player is insanity and should never happen. Exactly. Peekaboo does this on purpose for his viewers. I'm not like, listen, this is nothing against Peekaboo, but anybody that Peekaboo's fighting, it's extremely unfun to fight against. But you can look at it either way, you know? I mean, some people say, this is kind of a random tangent. This is an off tangent. Some people are like, I love fighting against Peekaboo at 1,600. I find it to be an opportunity to improve. And he's my hero. So it's really fun to play against him. There's people that are like that, and then there's other people that are like, why do I have to be a BlizzCon competitor to have a chance at 1,602s? You know, definitely worth a watch. I feel like he just articulates the problems of the current system very well, not just uber pro point of view that no one can really relate to. I don't know how you could disagree with what he says, to be honest. Let's take the gym example. Let's say you want to do 6 exercises of 3 reps and each round of solo shuffle equals 1 set. You go to the gym all hyped up, but you have to wait 30 minutes before starting. You do 6 sets, 2 exercises, then you have to wait 30 minutes again before 6 more sets, and then another 30 minutes. It'll probably take you 2 hours to complete your 6 exercises. Like, to top it off, even as a newbie lifter, you're barely making any progress. How many people would stop lifting altogether? My guess is he liked my lifting analogy. The time commitment alone is a deal breaker for most people like me. It's not fun to sit 1-hour queues. Well, that's kind of like a separate issue. That's a separate issue, and I feel like that just comes down from there's just not enough people healing. And in my humble opinion, I feel like whatever it is, I don't know if it's the rewards team or what, but I feel like Blizzard as a whole is not on the right page of like trying to incentivize healers. You know, like I actually do enjoy, well, I do heal. I enjoy it because of the fast queue times, and sometimes it is fun, but I feel like healing could be incentivized so much more to where like, you know what, if I do heal for like a couple hours a day, maybe I could afford my WoW token in gold. or close to it, something like that, you know what I mean? So maybe DPS would make healers, blah, blah, blah. Another W take by Venruki. To be honest, I was one who thought rating was too deflated in Shadowlands, but now I miss it. If inflation equals participation, then I'm all for it. Inflate the F out of this ladder blizzard because no one is playing. Stop capping rating gain. If I'm 1800 and win versus a 2100 MMR / rating teams, give me not 24 plus, but 100 to 150 plus rating. This is the worst feeling, almost getting nothing for an uphill battle, but you don't lose rating if you would lose. What is more motivating, not losing rating or gaining big amounts? Also make it if you lose a lot. Also make it you lose a lot if lower MMR beats you. I'm too old to play for anything other than fun. I could care less about the color of the glow of my weapon, but getting matched with much better players and getting repeatedly destroyed is not fun. Going into BGs and counting the number of locks and moonkins and realizing that the odds are against you is not fun. Make the game more fun for everybody. A good matchmaking system would result in 50-50 win rating for everyone. Games should be easy and fast to get into. Rewards should come at regular spaced intervals. IMO change shuffle to be 4v4 with one healer on each time. This should lower the queue times for DPS. Most importantly, give rating and conquest for BGs and balance the game around it as the most popular PvP mode. Interesting. Isn't the opponent monk the guy who wrote here a few days ago how he's very happy he went 6-0 versus Venruki? I've actually seen a lot of people talk about that. Like maybe shuffle should be 4v4 instead of 3v3, but I feel like that's even more stressful as a healer. Do you imagine every game just dying instantaneously? I mean, I would freak out. I can't imagine trying to heal that. Imagine if Overwatch was this way. The season starts, Grandmaster players are set to 0 rating, and the MMR cap is at gold. That is like this is what I'm talking about. This is such a I love this because this is exactly what I mean. This is perfect. This is like, to me, this is a perfect analogy. Imagine if Overwatch was this way. The season starts, Grandmaster players are set to 0 rating, and the MMR cap is at gold. How many Diamond Masters GM players will actively be playing when they're stuck gold? Probably not many. They will wait for the inflation because they're not even more so than that. It's like all the people that are in silver and gold are just getting smacked and destroyed. Well, even if it doesn't matter, you know, people are saying the Overwatch system sucks too. Even if it is true where there, you know, are some Grandmasters in gold and the Overwatch system isn't perfect, I will tell you, I play a lot. I play a good amount of Overwatch. And I don't find myself in a situation where there's just somebody on the other team just completely destroying me. That it's very obvious they're infinitely better than I am. And that happens to me daily in WoW. Every second game. What an ugly face. Yikes. Nice. All right. That's Reddit. Let's take a look at the WoW forums. All right. Venruki articulates why Dragonflight Season 2 participation is dying in less than 7 minutes. I'm not one to parrot out what YouTube streamers are putting out there. This one actually really resonates. The first 7 minutes of this video. Venruki perfectly articulates what is going on this season and why the cap on MMR have demotivated people to queue and killed every single bracket. No one is motivated to repeatedly queue in this type of MMR environment. That's actually insane that in less than 24 hours, it has 551 replies. That's kind of insane. Just wait for the little fox man to gaslight you into believing that MMR deflation isn't demotivating people. The only people making this argument simply want to gatekeep cosmetics from players they see as less deserving. I understand that their sentiment comes from. I'm not sure if this is the best for the game, though. I find that the amount of stock people put into the game pixels to be worrisome, but live and let live, I suppose. In a month or so, this doesn't really matter anymore, though. Early season of Dragonflight 1 was like this, too, but much less players know how to inflate it would become. This little Foxman. Kenny, is this the Foxman? Excuse me, I said that a large reason why Shuffle was popular was because the rating was free and that they'd likely be changed in Season 2 to match more in line with other brackets. Okay, these guys are just... What is this post? This is the WoW forums, man. Like, all right. These two are just going back and forth. Wait, someone said they can't believe I have viewers. Same guy spent all of last season crying how inflated the rated solo shuffle ladder was. I know he's an OG rank 1 player, but he's absolutely insufferable. I can't believe he has viewers. Okay. I don't really remember that, to be honest, but I'll take his word for it. Dude, this guy's a hater, bro. I'm not a personality-driven creator. I'm only relevant because he's a top 0.1% player in a niche form of content. Shit, bro. I'm working on the personality thing, you know? I think there's a middle ground to be had. He brings up Waz because he's #1 EU ladder right now and he's barely breaking 2400. I'm not sure what the solution is. Something akin to 3K is where a rank 1 player should be, and even at the start of the season, that's what they can grind to rather quickly. It changes absolutely nothing unless people want to push, well push. Yeah. I was a fan of Venruki back when he campaigned for Soul Shuffle, which I imagine we owe him and others at least partially. I don't know about that. However, all his videos lately are all clickbait. He had one video with some title like most OP spec with a picture of a moonkin. Then the video is about fire mages. What a clown. Hopefully you enjoyed the video at least. Dude, WoW Post is a hater, bro. All right, well, I was hoping that we talk. You know what's funny is I gotta give it up. I mean, it seems like Reddit is actually a better place for discussion than the WoW forums. And I never thought that I would say that. But I gotta give a little bit of a clap to Reddit because they actually had like it. You know? This is just, dude, the WoW forums are not great, bro. I was actually kind of inspired. I was like, man, this has 600 replies. It's like 3 people just like, is there a way to look at like most, can you filter comments by like most upvoted on the WoW forums? Is there a way to do that? 0 topic relevant posts? Yeah. The only useful part of this thread is that it has 552 responses. Most of the feedback ideas are cooked, but the sheer volume of posts must indicate the players care about this particular issue. One person has responded to the thread 104 times. Venruki is delusional and thinks that if Blizzard somehow inflates the MMR so everyone can get glad 4 weeks into the season, 3s will be more active than now. Why would you even take his opinion seriously? We're going back to Reddit, dude. But yeah, I guess, you know, I've seen some people disagree with me that the reason why the season is deflated is because of lack of participation or whatever, but Numbing linked me this. So I can give you guys an opposing point of view. I actually feel like it's worth bringing this up. My friend, Numbing, he says a common complaint in the current season is that MMR is too low and I can't realistically get my 1,800 or 2,100 rewards, so why would I queue? People point to this as the reason participation is really low. My point in this thread is to convince you MMR is not the issue. How to increase participation? Overhaul LFG. People still struggle to find people to queue with at their experience level. The LFG system needs to be omnipresent. In other words, I should be able to post that I'm an arcane mage looking for X specs and X experience that is up all the time, even if I'm offline. People can send me messages to add them to queue later. I do think LFG is not great, 100%. Increase PvP item level and PvE. PvEers need to be encouraged to try out PvP. I don't know if I agree with this one because I just try to put the shoe on the other foot for this one, right? Where it's like, let's motivate PvPers to have to PvE. Nobody wants to do that, right? Like, I think it would be nice if more people PvP'd and PvEers had incentive to PvP, but I don't know if it should be through item level because I feel like if I had to do, like if Blizzard had the same logic in reverse where it's like, okay, well, let's incentivize PvPers to have to PvE, like do the raid for tier. I don't really want to do that. You know, I don't like that. So I don't necessarily agree with this one. Bring back a weekly conquest cap through rewards from BFA. This is a participation reward that is immediately tangible. The rewards can be similar to the trading post with mounts, toys. I think that would be cool. Give people like a weekly incentive to queue or monthly incentive to queue. I think that would be cool. And then class balance. Yeah, class balance is a big one, right? You shouldn't feel like in solo shuffle you automatically lose to every Mistweaver that queues. Because that's kind of how it is right now. I feel like Mistweavers in solo shuffle, maybe Disc too, but Mistweavers in particular, just like they just feel like they're playing a different game than you. Just have twice your healing, you know? Play really, really proactive to beat them. And then, of course, yeah, DPS balance as well. But I kind of think, so like this overhaul LFG system, I think they kind of need to overhaul the whole, even just rating in general. I feel like it should have like tiers you kind of slowly upgrade through, like other games do, you know, like you start off in bronze, you work your way up through bronze, you eventually get to silver, you work your way up through silver, you eventually get to gold, you work your way up through gold. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I feel like it would be a lot better. And also I think it would actually help the LFG problem because you could find partners that are in your similar bracket. You know what I mean? Like when you go into LFG and someone's like, oh yeah, I'm 2,700 experience Mistweaver. Doesn't really mean anything. Like when did you get 2,700? Like, what are you talking about? Did you get 2,700 when everyone was 3,500? Did you get it like, you know what I mean? really hard to know. So I think that could probably potentially use it. He says, if you think MMR being low at the start of the season is the reason why few people are queuing and then increasing it with skyrocket participation, you're mistaken. I actually don't agree with this. I really genuinely believe that it is a problem for players when they have, like, you just are queuing against the bet. Like, the thing is, everything gets pushed up, right? When you have a lot of people active at the bottom side of the ladder and they can enjoy the game and have fun, the rating moves up and inflates the ladder, and it's just better. When MMR is like capped at a point where it is, it just makes it so all the high players are playing against like the mid-level players, which is like really discouraging. And I don't know. These people will get their 1800, 2100 and stop for the rest of the season. I also don't agree with that. I feel like that's something that developers have said for a really long time. I mean, I would have to see the data on this because I don't believe that. I feel like WoW in general has a pretty hardcore community. Sure, there's going to be people that are like, oh, you know what, I'm 2100. I only like playing Moonkin. I'm done. That's good. But I feel like a lot of people, they want to play WoW. They make alts. I feel like alts are probably one of the most enjoyable things about World of Warcraft. Trying different classes, or making a second. If you play mage, you make a second mage. You make a third mage. Some people like to do that. They like to just play the same spec over and over and over. Be a seasonal goal. It is a seasonal goal. Like here's the thing. It's like getting Gladiator right now. Like, let's say that like Waz gets Gladiator. That doesn't mean that it's not a seasonal goal for the rest of the people that play. I guarantee you most people got Glad within the last 3 weeks of the season. Last season. I guarantee it. Even if some people, it's just like the race to world first, right? Some people killed the mythic boss, the last mythic boss, in 1 week. That doesn't mean it's too easy. Most people have to work on it the whole season to try to beat it. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have the time. We do. Getting 1800 takes all of their 5 to 10 hours a week. Yeah, it's not easy, especially when you're sitting queues and stuff like that and looking for partners. Like, it is a seasonal goal. So I don't agree with that. Not something you get in a couple of weeks. Most people, like I said, are not getting it in a couple of weeks. Also, anecdotally, the people trying for these rewards are the ones that will leave your group after 1 loss. To be fair, a lot of my friends' group got geared in the first 2 months-ish. They didn't play till the last 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, that happens, but it's also, that's more of a problem with, it feels like your progress throughout the season doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like, the game is just, it's weird because you're not super incentivized to play throughout the regular season, because all of us that play the game often know you're just gonna go up 1 billion rating, right? Like, you just get all this inflated MMR. Even if you don't even log on, you get all the MMR, right? Which I'm not saying is necessarily a good or a bad thing, but example would be like Solo Shuffle. Solo Shuffle last season, people could have pushed to like 3,200 2 months before the season ends, okay? And they just sit at 3,200, and then weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and go by, and they queue a Solo Shuffle, and now they have 3,500 MMR. They can literally go 1 in 5 and gain rating. We're all experienced enough that we could grind to rank 1, near rank 1 in a few days, so there's no point in playing unless we really love this / the meta. Yeah, I feel like that's a problem in and of itself, though. That was wild. I got 1,800 on my Mistweaver. Ben, how confident are you the MMR is deflated? It feels like there are more people at or above 2,400 threes than week 3 of season 1. No, I don't think that's true. Well, I mean, for sure Solo Shuffle is giga deflated. And we know that because there's literally an MMR ceiling. There's an MMR cap that's below 2,400. So you literally can't get your MMR above 2,400 at the moment. It's impossible. I wonder if they should give mages fast poly like boomies have fast clone. I'm going to be honest, guys. I know this is going to sound really, really cooked. This is going to sound really, really cooked. But I'm absolutely convinced the biggest problem in World of Warcraft is that there's not enough healers. Like, there's a lot of problems. But I am now 100% convinced that somehow need to make healers more fun. The biggest problem in World of Warcraft is that nobody is healing. So, yeah. Giving mages Palm Poly, I don't think is really a part of the solution.